So guys, I just checked in for a bit. We're going to let us see if we get a few people to sign on before we get started. So I'll get started right at 8 o'clock. Just signed on a couple minutes early for tonight's broadcast. See now, so right here, I'm just teaching Stacy. Right here is the this tells us how many people. Okay, so somebody entered. Okay. So that's what that means. Hi, thanks for joining. We're gonna get started in just a minute. As some people get logged in. We'll go right at 8 o'clock. I'll do the announcement. We'll go right on in. If you joined us, then please type something so I know you're here, so I can say hello to you. That might be Magni.
Is that you, Magni?
He watches. He don't listen. He just watches. He sees if there's any technical difficulties. All right, it's now 8 o'clock. Welcome to Touching Eternity, the podcast. I'm your host, Sid Patrick, and I have a special guest with me today. Let's see if any of you guys can guess who that is. I'm going to go on to the full scene now. And today I have my girl Friday, my woman Friday, my lady Friday, my backbone. I have Miss Stacy with me. So all this time, a lot of you guys out there talk to Stacy and never really know who she is. Well, I wanted to make sure that people get to meet Stacy. So this is Stacy. Say hello, Stacy.
Hi, everyone.
You're supposed to say hello, Stacy. No,
hello, Stacy. Oh, come on.
But anyway,
I'm like that.
So if you do want to make an appointment with me, this is who you're going to be talking to, is Stacy. So when you dial that number, 504-708-8353, Stacy is who you will get. And if she doesn't answer, please text, because she will respond. If she doesn't answer, she will respond to your text. Guaranteed. And that is the only way to get an appointment with me. There's no going around not calling Stacy. She handles everything for me, including a lot of personal stuff, and she does a lot of travel with me too. In fact, we just finished booking travel. That's why she's here tonight, so that she can say hello to people who never know who that voice is on the other side of the phone when they call, or who's texting with them. So everyone, this is Stacy. So if you're in the room, say hello. I see there's two or three of you guys, so say hello and let us know you're with us, and we're going to get on talking. I want to talk about something I heard on the radio, and then we'll move into some other stuff. But while I got people still logging on, don't forget that hey Mike, it's my cuz. Hey cuz. Mm-hmm. So what I wanted to say first is that on Friday, June 13th, Misty Gaither and myself will be doing a gallery at MRC, or it's Mystic Resource Center now, not Metaphysical. Hi Sophia, look, she's saying hi Stacy.
Hi.
So I kind of wanted everybody to meet Stacy. Hi Tina. Yeah, so great to put a face to a name. That's why I brought her on, was so that you guys can see who Stacy is. And Stacy's an absolutely wonderful human being, and I know that because she puts up with me. And
it's not easy.
No, it's not easy.
Some days it's not.
Because I have 1,000,001 projects going on between the spiritual work and my regular work. I've probably got about 20 to 25 different projects all happening at the same time. And so it's very hard to juggle. And so Stacy helps me juggle that. And so basically she tells Magni when to wind me up and let me go. So that's pretty much how this partnership works. So again, Stacy is the lady on the line when you call to make an appointment for me, and she is a godsend. And her and I do travel. She's learning aura photos with me. So a couple of things I wanted to talk about tonight. So first one was Misty Gaither and I will be doing that gallery June 13th at Mystic Resource Center, 1708 Lake Avenue. You can find tickets at my website, sid-patrick.com. They are selling out. Hey, Chris. Say hello to Stacy, Chris. That's Stacy that you could talk to on the phone. Oh, you've met Stacy before at Touching Eternity, probably. But anyway, and Sophia was there too that
was
time.
She? Okay.
So again, I'm getting excited because because Touch an Eternity is this week. Like I leave Sunday to head to Orlando, and I've got all my classes set up for Energetics Part 2, and so it's going to be very exciting. There's a few surprises. We're also going to be doing aura photos at Touch an Eternity this coming week in Orlando. Also, I need to say this. Anybody that is not coming to the event but wants to go to Dominic's, she says, hi, Stacy. If anybody wants to go to Dominic's, Saturday night is in Orlando is Dominic's Mediumship Gallery. And if any of y'all went there last year, you know he's dynamite. You really,
Yes.
if you get a chance to see Dominic,
He's very good.
he's an excellent medium. So this is your chance because you can get a ticket just to that event. That is the only event that you can get a ticket to at Touching Eternity. And then Josephine will be there also drawing and spirit art while Dominic is working. And Josephine will be teaching some classes as well, some spirit art. So if y'all want to get on out to Touch an Eternity, there's still time to get a seat. There's still time to get a ticket. I don't think there's any hotel rooms left. There might be. I'd call the hotel first, but I'm sure there's plenty of hotels. It's Orlando. There's right by Disney, so there's a lot of hotels. But anyway, Touch an Eternity is June 4th to June 8th. We did move some things around on the dates. The classes are going to be the same. I know, Sophie. I'm going to miss you guys too. I know you get
Bahamas sounds.
You're gonna be.
Bahamas sounds better.
Well,
to
I
me.
don't know. I was in the Bahamas a couple weeks ago. I think I'd rather be at Touch an Eternity. I was in the. We went Nassau.
Oh, that's right. You did the cruise. I
was
forgot about
in the Bahamas a couple weeks ago.
See, y'all, he travels so much, and I can't even keep up with what he does.
I know.
Makes me crazy.
So, I don't know. I might want to go to Touch an Eternity. Hey, Jamie. So anyway, and I got to tell you that this is going to be one of the last times you will get to experience a seance for quite some time. Because Scott's told me he's going to finish out the year, then he's taking a break.
Oh,
he's taking a mental break. He wants to get closer to his spirit people. He wants to spend some time in trance. And so he's taken some time off from seances after this year. He's got 3 booked. They're already booked. So if you haven't gotten into one of those, you won't be able to get into one for quite some time until he decides to come back into it. But he just finished writing a book.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
He just finished writing a book, which
Awesome.
he'll have those for sale at the conference. And
Cool.
and
He's interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, and it's good. It's a really good book too. Actually, I got 30 copies in my den right now. So anyway, So Scott will be promoting his book and sitting a lot in meditation. He's going to be working on. He wants to take his seances to a higher level, and so he wants to take a lot of time off and work with his spirit team, because post COVID, because of his circle having to break up because of COVID, they couldn't. They were in quarantine. He wants to go back in and re-strengthen his connection with his team. And so he is going to be taking some time off. So this is like last chance for seance. But anyway, so I'm excited though, because I've got tons of stuff going on. So let's talk about those things for a minute while I got Stacy so she can keep me in order. So she can try. Anyway.
Never happened. Never happened. Never happened.
So again, we talked about Mystic Gathering event on July 13th. July 21st, for those people here in New Orleans, there is going to be a benefit at the NutriGround. June 21st from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. It is going to help support HexFest this year. So there's going to be readers there. I'm going to be there with the Aura camera. So come join us and come get an Aura photo taken June 21st. It's a Saturday. From 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the NutriGround. It's a coffee shop. They also have bands there and all kinds of cool stuff. It's a really cool place. So that's where we're going to be. And so, yeah. So, Chris, how did you like your class with Josephine? Anyway, while Chris is writing that, but to answer your thing, so hopefully you can do TE next year. I don't think there's going to be a TE like you think next year. Next year's TE is going to be a complete different thing.
Yes.
I am going to talk to the guys if they want to do something, but we're also doing a cruise next year, and Jennifer Brazzi is going to be on that cruise. We're talking to her about she wants to do it. Misty Gaither is going to be on that cruise, and a lot of her people are going to be on that cruise, wanting to come on a cruise ship with us. So there's a lot of things that we're going to be doing for next year. I don't know if Scott's going to come. I don't know what his schedule is going to be at the college. I don't know, what he's do. What he's going to be touring with his book, and like I said, he's taken some time. He's taken some personal time. And he's going to be teaching his online classes and stuff like that. But as far as getting out and doing things, I know as far as seances go, he is planning to strengthen his connection with his team. And then he'll probably come back in a few years and start them again. So we'll see. It's really up to Scott, So hope you guys love Josie. Yes, Josephine is an absolute doll. I love Josephine. Is one of my most favorite people. She's a complete character, so you either love her character or you don't. I love her character.
I can't wait to meet her. I haven't met her yet.
She's absolutely wonderful. I love sitting next to her in a bar because she's totally hysterical.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Oh, yeah, she is a lot of fun. And so it's her humor. She's got a very dry sense of humor. Hi, Lori. Mm-hmm. She's got a very dry sense of humor, and she's got that Scottish, accent, and when she gets her going, oh Lord, she just sits there, makes me laugh. I just want to give her hugs. I just love me some Josephine. So she'll be there doing psychic art. We're bringing some extra stuff for that. With the aura photography now, we actually going to be video. You're going to be seen on a video screen plus on a computer screen. That's a new thing too. So if y'all come on the 21st, I'm hoping to have the video screen up and running at that event, so those people can actually watch a video of them getting their photos taken and the colors and forming and changing and swirling until we get your base color and we stop the movement of the camera. Of the photo. We take a snap in time. So that's going to be June 21st at the Neutral Ground in New Orleans. Look it up. It's a coffee shop, and they do live bands, and they have karaoke nights. It's a big fun place. Okay. That night's going to be an event from 4 to 9. So come join us there. What else we got? August 23rd, we're in Tulsa, and I know in September 11th.
August 2nd and 3rd.
August 2nd and 3rd, we're in Tulsa.
Yeah.
And then September 11th through the 15th, we're in Portland, Oregon.
Yes.
So we're doing events there coming up. And then I think if I don't have to go do something with Misty that first week in November, I'll probably be in Sarasota again. So we're doing hey Rhonda. So we're doing a lot of travel, and I am starting my classes. I will be posting classes to my site before the end of Touch Eternity. So I'm doing a mediumship class. I'll be doing a tarot class, intuitive tarot class, and a master tarot class, a numerology class. And I spoke to Miss Tony today, and she says she's almost ready to come back and offer the voice dialogue again. So we're looking at all those events. I'm also having my house redone so that I can fit all you people in my house. So that's what I'm working on too. So anyway.
You don't work on much. You don't do a whole lot, and then work a full-time job, and then try to fit in appointments, and then try to make my life crazy because we can't make it all work, and we got to bounce it around, and eventually it works out.
It does. We haven't had to move too much lately.
No, it's been pretty steady lately.
Yeah.
But it can be kind of crazy.
Yes, I don't know. I gotta talk with Trenny. I know she's coming back. We have a group that wants to meet with us. I just don't know of the date yet. But locally, if y'all want to come see Misty and I, we will be at the MRC, which is the Mystic Resource Center, 1708 Lake Avenue, on June 13th, Friday the 13th. Come get your groove on and come join us and come have fun with us. It's going to be we want to make it a fun, lightful event. Okay, so I want to get into tonight's topic. So I'm going to let Stacy go because she did. I had to drag her in here so y'all
This
could
wasn't
meet Stacey.
planned
It wasn't
at all.
planned at all.
No, it was not planned at all because
I felt that people wanted to figure out, see who they talk to when they make that phone call. And guys, I do want to say this: there's been a lot of fraud on the internet. So please, the only way you're going to get an appointment with me is through Stacey.
Me.
If anybody reaches out to you on Facebook and says, you know, I see something spiritually going on with you, contact me right away. Don't believe any of that. There's a lot of people that are trying to make money off of my clients. If you don't call Stacey or me direct, you are not getting, and me direct is you. I don't answer the phone, so you do better to call Stacey.
Yeah.
Stacey can tell you I don't answer my phone. I check in with her every day, usually when I leave work. So I seldom answer my phone because of that. And so it's best to reach out to Stacey. If you need something personal from me, text me. I do better with a text. I'll try to answer you back or send me an email. But to book an appointment, the fastest, quickest way, because Stacey knows my calendar. I don't. She literally calls me and tells me when I'm driving home from work, oh, you know, you got somebody in about an hour, you got to get home. I'm like, okay, I'm on my way home. So she literally does that because I am that busy. I still haven't sent the email out for the Mimosas Mediums Murder and Mayhem tour. I promise I'm going to get that out to the people who went. I want to get your feedback on it. Not done that, but at work I have tons of projects. I have tons of projects at home, as you can hear. I've got another project coming in mid-August that I'm getting together right now that I'm going to be going to Wisconsin for. So I am definitely traveling and moving around a lot. And Chris, we miss you too. We miss you too. I say go to the Bahamas with Sophia and then bypass and come up to Touch and Tony for a couple days and then head back. Come at least for Dominic's show, then go back.
you know.
Anyway, so I'm gonna let Stacey go and then we'll get started. Good. So you can go now, Stacey.
So please leave the message. If I don't answer, please text, and I will respond. There are lots of people that call and don't leave a message, and so I don't know. And sometimes it'll tell me it's a scam number, so I don't necessarily answer because yes, there are a lot of scam phone calls. So just please leave a message, and I will get back to you. Okay?
All right. Thank you, Stacey.
All right. You have a good evening, Mr.
I will.
I'm out of here. It's raining too.
I
Let
know.
me go in the storm now.
Well, there's an umbrella. Grab one on the way out. There's several.
Bye.
Anyway, so I did want everybody to meet Stacey because you hear me talk a lot about Stacey and her journey on how we met and how she was able to cure, you know, her cancer and things like that. So I definitely wanted you guys to put a face to the name. So that's why I asked her to stay over for the beginning so that you guys could see her. And then that way it'll be posted on YouTube. So when people are trying to reach me, they will know who they're speaking with. But anyway, tonight's topic. So on the way home, I wasn't sure what I wanted to talk about tonight, but on the way home, and this is part of energetics too, what we're going to talk about. And I know I talk about this a lot, but something made me want to talk about it tonight, and I'm about to tell you what it is. So on my way home on the radio, I was listening to the radio, and they had this one of the hosts was talking about, you know, when you go into the dating world these days, you need to either be a psychiatrist or a psychologist because you never know what you're getting hooked up with. You don't know if you're meeting somebody who is creepy or if somebody is misogynistic. You don't know, you know, and so you really need to. And I'm thinking to myself, no, you don't. And it really made me think of, I almost wanted to call this radio host and say to them, no, you need to be responsible for your own choices. And you need to set the right boundaries. And you need to know before you go out, you need to know what's good for you and what's not good for you. You don't need to be a psychiatrist. You just got to know what the kind of behavior you want to happen to you. And so you have to set the right boundaries and be okay with with walking away from a situation. And I've learned from talking to people for so long, and I know it's not easy, but that's why when I teach energetics, it's all the biggest part of it, and this was in part 1, so I can share it, was learning who you are, what makes you move? Like, if you have a thought of of hatred of any kind, bigotry, racism, cockiness, any of that, and most of us will think those things. Figure out where in your life it came from. Try to understand who made you have that thought, or what made you have that thought, and then try to understand it. Don't say and forgive it, not saying you have to do anything, but it's just understanding who made you. And hey, Mark, who made you, and why do I have these thoughts? Why do I have these things? And I know I have them because of the way I was raised. But the key to it is even though you can understand where it came from, that you're a strong enough adult that you're able to say no to the thought. You're able to put that behind you and say, no, that's something that was not a good thing in my life. That's something that was negative, but it helped me see things and helped me understand things. So yes, I had to experience that. But, so that's kind of what you have to understand, how you work. So if you're somebody and you always get in a bad relationship, you got to figure out why you keep picking them. Why don't you draw the right boundaries with somebody? When they cross it, walk away. It's okay to go out and be friends with them, but if they cross your boundary, walk away from it. Bottom line, you shouldn't stay in there. I don't care if you how long I don't care if you're married 10 years. If your partner disrespects you, have enough love in your heart to wish them love and then walk away. You just you have to take this is your journey, not theirs. When you start having expectations how someone else should live their life, that's when you start messing up. You really, this is your journey. You shouldn't expect your journey to encompass somebody else's life unless they choose to do that journey with you. Remember, I tell people all the time, and I've probably done this on the podcast before, but remember, you got your life and you, and they have their life and their life and them, and together you'll create the dove of marriage, because you still allow each other to have your own lives, but you have mutual respect for one another, which pulls you together. Now, when y'all start getting misogynistic and acting out, that's when you try to cripple one's wings. Stop. If someone's doing that to you, it's time to walk away, because this is your journey in this life. This is how you see yourself, and understand why you see yourself that way. Go back into childhood. Start looking at how you were cultured, how you were raised, what you were told you could do, couldn't do, what negative experiences you had, what positive experiences you had. Figure out what made you that person. The more you understand who you are, the easier you're going to be able to deal with relationships. And then, of course, the second part of energy, when I teach you how to build your energetic moat and fill it, then you will shine. Then you will shine, and you will attract the right people to you. Other people will be afraid of you. If their energy doesn't match you, they'll be afraid of you. So you're going to attract good people to you, the people that you want. Now, you act out and act the fool. Guess what kind of people you're going to draw? The ones that act out and a fool. So start trying to understand why you do the things you do, because you are responsible for your behavior. And I get in arguments with all kinds of mediums about this, including my and she might be watching tonight, including my work wife, Miss Trini. I fight back with her all the time, because we get a lot of clients who have these crappy boyfriends, and she starts she starts knocking the guy, and yeah, he's a piece of shit, but why you got him in your life? I go after the person who I'm reading. Why would you have somebody in your life who's abusing you? Why? That's what you need to understand. Why? You're never going to get beyond that unless you figure out why is that happening to you. And so you got to go back inside of you and find your strengths in it, because remember, this is your journey, not theirs. You can share your journey with somebody, but this is your journey in life. And so you need to be able to learn to share that with the people who deserve it, not people who do not deserve it. You should complement one another in a relationship. You should definitely, hey Alicia, You should definitely compliment one another in a relationship, not hurt one another. And again, let them go with love, because you do want them to get better, because you wouldn't have been attracted to them if you didn't like them. So, let them go with love and let them try to find their peace, their happiness. And so when I heard that on the radio today, and I was like, oh, she's pushing everything else on the other person, but she's not. It's you. It's you have to look at in relationships. What is your role in that relationship? What is your role? Why are you in it? What is there for them and what is there for you? You need to evaluate. What do you, are you someone who's just constantly taking from them and not giving? Well, that's not going to last long, because if they're anything smart, they're going to eventually just leave you, find something better, whatever. Things get old, So you have to really, really look at that. So I just wanted to go over that, because when I heard that on the radio today, I said, come on, you're putting this out in the public. You're on the radio. We have to start taking responsibility. And I think that's what's wrong with our country today, that many of us aren't taking responsibility for our actions. And we're not understanding why we feel the way we do. We let other people tell us how we feel, why we feel the way we do. And rather than us looking at the root cause of that, we're just taking our anger out on everybody else. And it's our own fault. If we're not doing good in this life, it's our fault for whatever reason. I was too shy, or maybe I didn't believe I could do something. I was always told I couldn't do something, so I didn't do it because I didn't think I could do it. And then I tried to do it and I did it. You have to understand you. And that is the first key to success in energetics. And when people read that book, The Secret, that was a big hit. They'd be like, it doesn't work. Well, no, it doesn't work if you don't understand the power behind it. It's called the law of attraction. In order to get the law of attraction to work for you, you have to put out that energy to bring that energy to you. You can't be a POS, and y'all know what that stands for, and expect goodness to happen to you, because it's not going to. You have to come from a place of love. You have to, hey, Dina, hey, love. And you have to come from a place of love. You have to understand who you are and why you react the way you do. And then you have to build that moat around you of positive energy and start pushing the negativity away from you. It's impossible to get rid of all of it, okay? Because we all have those family members, okay? But you have to learn what your limit is before it starts damaging your shine, and then you walk away from it. And you learn to handle it, And so I try to share, yes, because fear is crippling. And I do teach, you were in the class for the energetics, but I go over fear. And so I got some more exercises with fear this year in Touch and Eternity. And I got some new exercises to do about people and how they react towards one another. So I'm putting things. I want to give away the plot of the exercise. But anyway, I got a bunch of new exercises and a bunch of new activities, and it's to help people understand who they are and help them build their best life to their ability. And so I'm going to help them with that. And I'm going to bring this class to New Orleans in September or October. I'm trying to see when I have the time to do it, but it's going to be a weekend class, a whole weekend. Because right now I'm teaching. Right now it's about a 12-hour course, so I'll probably break it into 2 days, like 12, 14-hour course. I'll probably will break it into 2 days. Oh, I can't see that name. They say, hold on. I got to put glasses on, y'all. All right, that's Stracener. Okay, hi, Stracener. Hi. How you doing, love? Whoever. Hi. Anyway, so I wanted to get that out to you guys because of what I saw on the radio. Hey, Michelle. Because of what I saw on the radio, I wanted to get that message out to you guys, because what's inside your heart is the most important thing. And I know you hear people say that bullshit all the time, okay? But it's true. If you can cleanse this heart of yours and learn to receive love as well as give love, because love isn't always about giving. It's also being able to allow yourself to receive it, to receive kindness, to receive love. If you're someone who just gives, and gives, you're not going to shine, because you're going to dim your light. You have to also be able to receive it and also find the beauty and things around you. So think about the things that just make you, like things that I find beautiful, or certain flowers will make me just go, oh, it makes me feel connected. Walking in the grass makes me feel connected, as long as there's no ants. Watching little kids interact with their family, I love that, especially when they being sassy. But so those, because I'm thinking like that's gonna be like the next president, or that's gonna be like the next fashion model or something, because of the way they act. So I just think that that the children are all children are beautiful, and watching their little minds work just amazes me. And I love how they interact with their family and interact with other people and stuff. And so I'll sit back and just kind of watch that, and then that makes me, that's how I also receive. Like I also look for stuff that makes my heart open up. And so when you're able to start to learn to feel again is when things will get better. Yes, laughter is absolutely wonderful. I will go to some comedy shows just to hear that. Hey, Fitness Frank. So what I'm saying to you guys is that in order for you to attract love, you have to be able to be open enough to give it and receive it. In order to shine to the point where you can find your true love, that's how it is. And I think what opened my eyes to it was was how my relationship went and developed into meeting, Magni. And before Magni, how it was, and then when I went through right before, a lot of it was self-evaluation and learning to love me and learning to respect myself and doing things for me, and speaking positive words about myself, and so a lot of that's really, really, really important. Hey sis, hey cuz. And so I loves you. And it's really, really, really important that you learn that love is not just something you give, it's also something you have to receive from people. And sometimes things happen to us in our lives that help us shut that connection down, that helps, makes us put up a wall or put up something where we don't receive love, because receiving it is more important actually than giving it, because you got to be able to receive it. And so you have to think about what helps melt your heart, what helps take that nasty anger off of you, what helps you not be angry at the world, what helps you not be mad, and one of the ways to deal with fear, and we talked about this because Chris brought this up a little while ago on here, with fear, there's a way to beat your fear, and that is called planning. If you have a fear, you learn to plan your fear. If you plan your fear, and I'll give you an example in a minute, you can avoid your fear. Okay, so this was in part 1 of energetics, so I can definitely share this with you. And I put this up on the board for y'all on another video. But, when you fear, if you have a plan, so an example, when I first started doing mediumship, I had a fear of getting up in front of an audience, because you're afraid that you're not going to do good enough, or that you're not going to be, you're not going to give the best information. You're not, you worry about those things, because that's normal. So to solve my fear, I had a plan. My plan was, if I do good, fine. If I don't do good, I just don't charge anybody, give them all hugs, tell them I love them, and move on. And that's like going to be the worst thing that ever happens. And because I was able to relieve my fear, it's never happened. So that is in a group setting, that's never happened. There has been in my career, there's been 3 people that I felt that I didn't read as well, and I didn't charge them, or even offered to go read them again. But there was circumstances that were environmental or superficial circumstances that were cutting in. So once you start to understand those things, you will start losing your fears. And a lot of people have a fear of death, and so I talk to a lot of people and counsel a lot of people on death, and talk to them about their grief and help them get past it. Because, folks, without life, there's no death. Without no light, there's no darkness. It's like, it's the opposite of life is death. And again, once you study mediumship, you learn that life is transitional. So when you don't really die, you just transition. And as you transition, you do get to be there with all the other energies, which I call them energies because we talk in energetics, but normally I wouldn't call them energies because they get upset. They want to be called spirits or by their name. So, but in this case, it's an energetics class. So they are, you mix with other energies. And if that didn't really happen, then mediums couldn't do what they do. A lot of psychics couldn't do what they do because it's an energy-based thing, but the spirituality is much higher. It's a higher frequency, and so that's why all mediums are psychics, but not all psychics are mediums. So I'm more scared of the. Well, Crystal, that's going to happen, but hopefully you've given your daughter. Let me rephrase that. Hopefully that's the way. Hopefully that's the way it does happen, because we never want our children to go before us. That's for sure, because I would just freak out. But what I say to you is, don't be afraid of it. Have a plan. So figure out what your fear is for your daughter. Is it you will see her and she will know you're there if you believe in spirituality and you train her to understand her own feelings and connection, then she can actually connect with you. And once you learn those the concepts of energy and life and death, then you get more comfortable. Now, what I don't fear death. I fear pain. I fear the pain of death. So whenever it goes, it's quick or in my sleep or something like that. But I know there's nothing I can do about that. What I can do is limit my risks to dying in pain. So that's what I tell people. You look at your risk factors, and if you really have a fear of that, you work with your risk factors. But you prepare for your daughter. Then you make sure. So what do you find? Is you fear that she won't be secure? You fear that she would need something? Then you make sure she's set up before you pass. You have a plan. Because one day the chance you do want to go before your daughter. Trust me on that one. I counsel a lot of parents that lose their kids. It's rough. It's rough. Exactly. Tina, and that's what you need to do. But that's not even about when you leave. The whole purpose of parenting, and this is my own opinion, so I'm going to say that the whole purpose of parenting is giving your children the tools they need to succeed. That's what your role is. You should not be there controlling them once they become an adult. They need to go figure it out, but you need to give them the tools, and that might be college or whatever, but whatever, you give them the tools that you can to survive in their generation. And so you give them the best tools you can, to help them survive, so that they can take care of themselves, so they can grow, so that they can climb the ladders of success. So you have to give them those tools, and the rest is up to them. You can only teach them right from wrong, and then life moves on. Tina, I hear you, girl. My child is a slow learner of life. I hear you, Tina. So, but you give her a toolbox of how to handle stuff, and this is from your experience. For her, she might do something different. Maybe she likes getting in trouble for some reason. You got to figure that out too. Because this is her journey in life. Even though she's still your child, this is her journey in life, and so she's got to make those. She's got to make those decisions. Chris, yeah, mine too. You gotta. They're not going to be just like you. Sometimes they rebel. But this is something they're going to have to live with in their lifetime. So. When it comes to parenting, I believe that parents should teach their children right from wrong. They should give them access, if not the tools, to help them grow within their generation, so that they have, a means of understanding, a means of education, a means of compassion, a means of empathy, a means of love, not hate, because hate will sometimes get them in a lot of trouble. So you need to think about those things. And those are the best things I think you can give your child to help them succeed in life. Because if they grow up hating, there's going to be an issue. Hey, Leah, how you doing? So thank you for joining us. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight, and that's about taking responsibility for you, because of what I heard on the radio today. So I figured I had to share that with you. And I want to talk about really quick. I went over all my events that are coming up. But again, I want to give a shout out about Dominic's event in case I have anybody in the Florida area. So not this Saturday, next Saturday, which is, let's see, 4th, 5th, 6th, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. I think it's June 7th is Saturday. So I think it's June 7th. Let me click over here and just make double sure. Because I don't want to give you all the wrong date, because then somebody will come at me. Yeah, it is. It's the 7th. So June 7th. In Orlando, you can go to my website to see the location, sid-patrick.com. You can get your ticket there. If you're in the Orlando area and you want to see Dominic Bogue, he's a phenomenal medium from Scotland. He's going to be doing a gallery for the students, and so you're welcome to come and join us there. The information's on my website, sid-patrick.com. Tickets are on sale there, so if you want to come see Dominic, that's where he'll be. He'll have his books there. Scott will have his books there. I will not have my books there. I have to get with my co-author, because I have a book. I have a book, Seance Experiments with Khalil Smith and Sid Patrick. But I am in the process of writing a book right now, which is an excellent book. And guess what it's called? Touching Eternity. That's what, hence the podcast, hence the event. It's all going to be named the same. But anyway, so that should be coming out next summer for sure, if not sooner. But folks, I'm going to do a few readings for you guys like I have been doing, because last week I didn't get to do them, and I think some of y'all were a little upset. So I'm going to use the tarot today. I might do a mediumship before I leave, but right now I'm going to use the tarot cards. So if anybody has a question that they want to ask me, I will answer that with the tarot cards and see what they say for you. So I do have those, and I'm shuffling those. And you just tell me what you want. Is it? Oh, because I said 9:40. I'm like, oh, it can't be that late already. Having too much fun. So you guys tell me if there's a question one of you have to ask me. I will put it out there for you while I break the last reading that I did. Okay. Oh. Okay. Somebody getting pregnant out there, according to this. No, Chris, you're not getting pregnant. No. When is my hip going to heal? So give me a time frame. Do you want to know in months? Because the cards really don't tell time. But you can ask me, like, is this going to be in 6 months or whatever, and I'll let you know. Hey, Raina. And Raina's asking me one. Okay, yes, I can do a little bit for all of y'all. So let's go. Let's talk about the hip first, Chris. All right, let me pull 3 for you. 1, 2, 3. So Chris, answer me this. Have you already had like a little infection with it? Because according to the 3 cards that I got here, I'll show them to you. One's up and there's 2 of them upside down. So it looks like there's a delay in healing, but it looks like you do survive it because of this card right here. You are going to do good. It does say that there's a little setback, but it looks like you push through it and you will do okay with it. So there is going to be a little setback or a little extension, but I do think that you're on your way to recovery. There was some hiccups though, so I do need to say that to you. Okay, Raina, what is the best way to foster a better relationship with my mother? Were you been watching from the beginning? Let's see. Raina, let me pull for you, my baby. All right. Guess what? I think Magni's going by your son, Raina. Woo. Says your mom's the devil. As a joke. So right now, it says that you and her are emotionally opposite one another. And it says that you need to put things in perspective, that both of you are completely coming from different points of view. And what I want to say to you is that, because I got the Queen and the King, one up, one down. So what that's telling me is it's 2 opposing emotional forces there. And so I would try to understand her and learn to only receive positivity from her. And when it's not, walk away from it. And then, and then when she says, why are you leaving? Say, well, I love you, but I got to go because it's real negative. I do think that y'all just really have a very different view of life. And I kind of think it's some kind of, I'm going to use the word, it's some kind of jealousy from her. And I don't know what that's about. I don't know if that was something growing up or something, but it looks like there's I feel like a little bit of anger when I feel her. And I don't know if it's jealousy or what. You are close to her son. I know. Well, Magnie's flying up there it's a town about an hour or hour and a half outside of Denver. Magnie's flying up there this week. I told him to say hello to Zach or message Zach if he's up there, and then maybe they can go have lunch or something. Anyway, so let's see. My next question is, so Leah, you have to give me a question. I'll gladly do a reading for you, but what do you want to know about? This is like I'm asking questions. I'm answering questions for you. I'm not doing a whole lay of the cards because I don't have enough room on the desk tonight to do a whole lay to give you like a whole reading, and I want to get to as many people as I can. Oh, he's actually back home now, Raina? Okay, so he's not up there. I'll have to let him know. Because Magnie was flying up there. I told him to contact Zach if they was in the same area. So, because he was going to spend like a 13-hour layover, 14-hour layover out there. Okay. Any more questions, folks? Ask away. I'm going to pick up and shuffle them a little bit. Okay, you want to know about work. Will it get better? No, Sophia. That's why it's called work. Let me see, baby. I'm going to look at it. Okay. Ooh, Sophia, it looks like you got some changes coming in. I'm not feeling this one, Sophia. I apologize, honey. It kind of is telling me that there's some changes that are going to happen, and I think you're going to be okay in the changes, but you're not going to like what's happening within the company itself. There's something going on. I don't know if it's changing hands. I don't know if it's got some just employee changes, but there's something about people movement. So I need to say that to you, and you're just going to have to make up your mind. Do you want to do, or you want to try something else? So you may try something else, Sophia. Sophia, I still owe you a reading. You know that, right? You had never called me. You mentioned it once to me, but we've never booked anything. So call Stacy and make an appointment. Tell her, just tell her she's going to ask you for payment. Just say you're going to pay me online, and I know it's a freebie because I owe you a reading. So I wanted to tell you that too. So, Leah, you got me a question. Should I stay solo or try for something else? Well, first of all, Leah, I can tell you should look at my video on energetics, the first one, and watch it. It will actually, okay. This is is this new thing going to go anywhere? Or am I wasting my time? Well, that's a good question. Yes. Okay. See, Sophia, I didn't forget that I owed you a reading, love, because you're very good to me. So this is what I kind of think, Leah. I kind of think that you and he are more friends, or you and she. I don't know. I don't know if it's a guy or girl, but I think in this relationship, there's a positive friendship thing. But I'm not sure if y'all are going to stay. I would say I don't think you're wasting your time. By the cards that I pulled for you, this is all pretty positive cards. So I don't feel that it's a waste of your time. I feel that whatever you're developing, at least a friendship will come out of it, is what this looks like to me. But I do think that there's going to be, because I see this is picking up and this is moving on. So I think at one point, one of you is going to decide to move on. But I say, keep it like friendship. If it's not giving you what you need, walk away from it. Please watch my energetics. That will tell you what to do and allow what you're attracted to get pulled closer to you. I think you and this person will remain friends. I see a stronger friendship than I do a love connection. So I need to say that to you. Okay. And let's see if I got anybody else. Kimberly Ann asks, I said Logan wanted me to go to Cindy's court tomorrow and help her. Okay, so Let me see. Is Logan wanting me to go? So that's pretty straightforward. So let me see. Hold on. 1. That's a yes. That's a yes. And that's a no. I got 2 yeses and a no. So what I'm going to say to you is I think you're going to go, but you're not going to be as involved. You should go, but you're not going to get as involved as you probably should. So I need to say that too. So go ahead, and I would say I would probably go and just kind of see. I don't think you're going to get to do, but I think your presence is going to be more important than you actually doing anything by what these say. So I'm going to say that to you as well. All right, and oh, Stacy was watching, so she heard what I said about payment. Yeah, I owe Sophia. Sophia did me a huge favor, and I owe her. So I told her I'd give her a reading. So since Stacy's watching, she'll know now. Perfect. Let's see what else I got here. Actually, Kimberly Ann, will my health get better? So Kimberly Ann, let me answer that one because the screen's starting to move now with questions. So I want to be sure I try to get everybody. Will your health get better? Well, it looks okay. So it's gonna be a little bit, okay. So what I want to say to you, it looks like you need some kind of procedure or something. There's something. So when I get a sword card, that usually means for me procedure. This tells me that you kind of know what's going on already. And this card came up positive, and it's the Earthbound one. It's the Earthbound coin card. So it kind of makes me feel like there's something that needs to be done, either a procedure and or a surgery, and it's going to fix it. The problem is financial right now. It's yes. So that's kind of what I would say to you is you need to weigh out the procedure and or surgery part, because whatever it is, I see that leading to that. So again, example, maybe it's something, I don't know what's wrong with you, but if it's, say, like example, if it's a thyroid or something, you may have to have something done with it before, you get better, like maybe get it removed or partially taken out, and then you have to go through some therapy. But whatever this is, and again, I don't know what it is, but what I'm seeing is I see some kind of procedure, something happening has to take place in order for it to get better. So that's what I am going to say to you. Let's see. So let me go down the list. We'll see who's next. Okay, why don't you go to meet me and get to meet you? Yes, Kimberly, you'll get to meet me in July at the Axe Murder Weekend. Yes, I will be there. It's July the 12th. I forgot to mention that. So the weekend of July the 12th, and there's still day passes available. All the rooms are sold out. Both hotels are sold out. We will be going to the Apothecary and doing a seance there, and we will be also be doing a gallery there. So it's gonna be a big fun event that weekend, the weekend of July 12th. Okay, let me see. Okay. Yes, I think that your presence is what's mostly needed. So I will say that. My husband had a biopsy today. Will he get good results? Let's see what it says. Okay. Let me get one more. So what I'm seeing is there's a lot he's going to learn. So this is education and learning. All right, come this way. This is education and learning. This is saying even no matter what the results are, his health's not where it needs to be. But this says to rest assured that whatever they find, it can be taken care of. So this tells me, see how he's laying down with the swords. So I think that there are solutions to help him with if they find. So I would say whatever they find, you will have your result. You will have a good result. So even if it is something bad with the biopsy, it's something they can go in, they can get. I'm not feeling it's going to be, there's things they can work with. And right now, education is important. So seeing this, it's telling me that he's obviously doing things that's creating his problem. And so he needs to really look at like what his intake is and what his anxiety and emotional levels at. And he needs to start working on himself. And that will help him. If it does come back positive, especially if it's for cancer, please email me. I might be able to help you with some Eastern style stuff. Definitely do what the doctor says. but I can also help give you some Eastern stuff. And if you know anything about the story of Stacy, I actually cured her. I cured several, but Stacy was here, so maybe come up with her. Okay. Tracy, he said, I need to start looking at new options for work. I feel like something's up with my company, my bosses. So let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, you got a wicked. So you're going to be getting some kind of offer soon. That's communication offer. There's your problem at work. It's whoever that woman is. And this is battle and stuff. So yes, there's something going on. I do agree with you. I do think it's time to start putting your resume out there and starting to look for things. It doesn't hurt to always look, okay? Because you can always say no, okay? Will I have another surgery before the end of this year? You would ask me that. Yes. This one might cost you a little bit. And you've already got your mind made up. So not tell you is going to change it. So yeah. That's why you're laughing. All right, me too. All right. So thank you, Rhonda. How long before my health is it greater? Is it greater than 3 months, or less than or greater than 3 months? Let's see if are you going to be well in 3 months? Let's ask that question. Am I going to be well in 3 months? 2 no's and a yes, Rhonda. So I think it's going to be a little longer than 3 months before everything's out of the woods for you. Okay. Hopefully you're back to work before then. Oh, because I couldn't be in the house all the time. I'd be go crazy. Oh, look. A bunch of y'all are going to be there. Well, I see we're having a party. So my cousin was there. Will my trip to Washington be good? Let's see. Let's see, cuz. Let's see. When you going to Washington, cuz? I'm going in October. I'll be in Seattle in October. Let's see. Let's see. That's okay, Melissa. We'll catch you up. And we're on YouTube. So, cuz, does this have to do with a child? Are you going to see a kid or a grandkid? Because there's children involved. There's a lot of emotions. And right now the worry is just being financially able. So I kind of think it's going to be somewhat needed, but not necessarily good. So I need to say that to you. I think the trip is needed, but I don't understand what was good. And I don't know if this is new emotions or if this is a child. That could be either one. So that's why I said that. Okay? All right, cuz. I'm wondering if the change I'm about to make at my work, how's it going to turn out? There has been a big change, and I've decided to make one for myself. You going in June, cuz? Okay, yeah, I'll be home back then. That's right. I'm doing my gallery time at the center. But I'm going. Maggie and I are going in October because we're heading up to Alaska right after from Seattle. All right, let's see. Out. Well, whatever it is, you have to do it. So, Melissa, what it's telling me is because of battling and all, because of inner battles or inner commotions, and it has to do with this person right here, you do need to make some form of, it says right here, you need to make some form of change to balance things out. You need to do what's right and do what's right for you. And I think this change is good. So I say make the change. It looked like if you'd have stayed on the same path, it wouldn't have been so well. So the big change is probably needed. This is the first card I did pull. So I will tell you, yes, do what's right and do what's right for you. Okay? So will Sid and Misty do trivia in Sid's pool week before the Axe weekend? Well, we might be doing it the week I get back from Touch and Eternity, because I get back on the 9th, and on the 10th, the trivia is going to be at my house, and my pool is already warm. So we can do it before the weekend of the Axe, because that Axe weekend is way hot. So we could actually do the pool thing the Tuesday after June 10th is the next trivia night with Misty Gaither, and it's going to be at my house. So yeah, we got champagne and pool and trivia. And if I have any T-shirts left from Touching Eternity, I might even have some T-shirts for prizes. Anyway, so Tina, should I move forward with the new business? They're expecting a baby. So I thought it had to do with a baby. So just like I said, I just see a lot of. You had the coin upside down, sis. So that means you might need, it might be a little costly. So you might have to help him with some stuff for the baby. Okay. Should I move forward with a new business? All right, Tina. Let's see. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so I would say there's a delay. Okay, this is what I got. Balance, the Fool, decisions, and then this Devil card, which is the one that worries me. So that tells me there's going to be some form of delay. There's something that needs to be taken care of, and then it probably will move on. It probably will move forward for you. But there's things you have to take care of first in order for it to succeed. Okay? Now, so I'm going to say that to you, Tina. Definitely great. I have a vendor booth this Saturday. Will it be profitable or a waste of time? I hear you, Mark. I know how them vendor booths can be because I do a lot of fairs, a lot of fairs. So let's see. Let's pull that ace of coin right now. Let me pull that ace of coin right now. If I can get that ace of coin for you, then we're going to be feeling. I think it's going to be good because remember I just told you I was going to pull this card and there it is. So either I'm psychic or you're going to do good. I haven't even looked at the other 2 cards yet. This was the last card I pulled. That is wild. Couldn't call that one again. So you got 2 coin cards and arrows going up. I say it depends on you. Mark it yourself. One thing when I do, yes, you got the ace. Look, you got the big ace. I was saying if you get that for sure. That's the last card I pulled was the big ace. But here's what I say to you. I do a lot of events and I watch a lot of people and I like to watch a lot about how they work, what they do, what their ethic is. And what I've noticed, and Stacy can vouch for me because Stacy and I do a lot of events together because she comes and helps me on these events. So she can tell you that what I'm telling you is real. The biggest reason that I see people don't do well is because they don't interact. You have to interact with your audience. You have to interact with people. You have to be upbeat. They're going to look for that energy. Your booth should always display something that's going to pull attention to you because you never know where, you may, it depends. Sometimes some events you pay for a location and that's good because at least you know where you are. Sometimes you show up and then you don't, and they put you in a place where nobody walks. So, you got to always have something that catches their eye and pull that energy towards you. But it looks like you're going to do okay. I called the ace and you got it. There you go. So Laura, your birthday's on the 10th of June. All right, we'll be at my house doing trivia night, and maybe going swimming and drinking champagne. But anyway, Kimberly, I'm in Illinois. What won't be there until July? Okay, well, I'll be here. I'll be here for that. But that's going to be at my house too. I think during the summer months, Misty was trying to find a place other than Ron's Gumbo Shop because it's outdoors and it's going to be too hot. I offered my home if I'm home, and I'm home, and I'll be home then too. I won't be on the road, so yes, we'll have the next 2 months at my house at least. Maybe depends when she does it in August. It's probably the week that I'm leaving. It's probably that same week that I'm leaving to go to the conference in Wisconsin. But if it's a Tuesday, I'm usually in town, so we can probably do it then. Yeah, it's just no. It's not time. I don't want you. So see, Melissa. This is why I need you to teach y'all energetics. It's not time to give up. It's time to get enriched. It's time to get better. Never give up. It's just time to do better. It's time to do something for you. And yes, Stacy wrote, yes, interaction for Mark. She wrote this for you. Yes, interaction is definitely the key. I did tons of vendor booths before work with me. She did. So I definitely want to, say that, let you know, because we do events all the time. And I've always done events and Stacy's always done events. And that interaction is the key. Having that pull, having that look that comforts people, that brings people to you. That's how you do it. Because we did an event. I think it was the one in well, we did a few events in Florida, and a couple of those events, those are tough events. And because and when I do those events, I usually have a lot of competition with what I do. I'm just different than they are. And I usually come out doing, considering there's 3 Aura cameras there, I usually still do really okay. I at least get my money back and maybe make a little bit when there's that many. But some don't even get their money back, I'm sure, because we watch, and it's because I do things different. I interact. I do things a lot different with people at events, and I talk to them, and I talk real to them, and we laugh and we cry and we do all kind of things together. Yeah. I've watched people, Kimberly. I've had people go to they go to an event to do readings, and they'll sit there and read a book. Well, nobody's going to come get a reading from you if you're reading. They don't want to interrupt your reading, so they just going to let you continue to read your book or look at your phone. I mean, you have to interact with people. Get up, walk around, talk to people, do what you can. All right, I'm going to work out of town soon. Will this affect my personal life, and is it worth it? Well, let's see. Let me mix I had some good cards over here, so let me make sure I mix these all up together again, and we will see. I want to give them a good shuffle for you. So let's see, Jessica. Let's see. I want that one. I want that one. And I want that one for Jessica. Let's see. So the money seems to be worth it. It's because there's your money card right here. So the money seems to be worth it, but here's the problem right here. There's your problem. And it says that you're going to get a little homesick. Okay, and that you're going to start missing the people you're with. And that might turn you away that might make you weigh out. Is this really what I want to do? So what I'm going to tell you is when you work out of town, or like me and my spouse both have jobs that we travel a lot with, and it's rough because you don't get to see each other for a while. So just make sure to kind of help you with this travel that you still keep in touch with people, Jessica. Call family, call your friends, call if you're dating someone, you're married, keep them in the loop. If you have kids, stay in touch. That will help you get through it, because it looks like you'd have some loneliness on that travel, or getting used to just not being in your bed or with your people. So I would say to you, because it looks like, because you got the money card there, so it looks like the money's going to be a little better for you. But I just, like I said, I'm going to advise you just to stay in touch, stay in tune with people, because it looks like you're going to start missing people. Good night, Lori. All right. Yes. Okay. No, it's not. But again, just be sure that Wait, Melissa asking me why? Kimberly asked me that. Jessica asked me that. So Melissa's asking, yes, I'll be making more money. Okay, I got you from earlier. Yes, I'll be the first time ever. Yes, that's going to be hard. So stay in touch with them. I find that Magni and I talk every day, whether I'm in town, out of town. I don't care if it's just to call and say, hello, look, I'm going to bed. I'll talk to you later. We try to keep in touch every day. And it's just to help with because we both travel so much. And so it does get hard. It really does. It really does get hard. But that helps. That helps. Just getting used to separation from family, and sometimes can be tough. All right. Any more questions for me? Because let me see. Oh, we got a little bit more time. Do what's best for you. Remember, this is your journey in life, so you want it to be fulfilling. You don't want to ever have any regrets about not doing something you always want to do because of somebody else, because when you do that, you have nobody else to blame but yourself. And it's how you handle the situation with the other people. keeping in touch, letting them know how much you love them, letting them know how much you care. That's, yes, oxygen can cause nosebleed, Tina, especially because it dries up your passages, and it can scale and you can get a nosebleed. Yes, absolutely. That's why you see them put the bottle of water sometimes to moisten the air that comes through. They put the humidifier in. Yes, and Stacy's agreeing with me. So absolutely it can. We do, cuz I miss you too. It's just right now, so let me give you a little scope with my cards. I went and seen my guy. Look, I'm gonna have some really fun with you. I went and seen my astrologer. Was it last week? It was last week, at the beginning of the week. And I try to go once a year to see my astrologer, and she is phenomenal. In fact, I've got all my friends going to see her. She's absolutely wonderful, and she literally pinpoints dates with me. I try to get her on here one day, if I can get her to my house. But she's very set in her ways. She's elderly. She's very set in her ways, but she is a wonderful soul and a wonderful human being with a great heart. And she's probably one of the best astrologers I've ever run across in the city. And it's not because of her like astrology wisdom. It's more about her compassion and the fact that she can pinpoint dates, times, incidents that are going to happen to you, and she's right every time. Literally told my work wife that she was going to break up with one boy and within 3 months be married to another boy. And sure enough, she was. Name the date. Because it was in her stars, Yeah, so one of them might be on here now. I don't know if Zita's watching. She normally does. But Zita Jeanfro is one of my healers. She's a nurse, and she's one of my healers, and my other one is Tanya. And she doesn't really come on this site, but those are the two that I normally go to, just because they've always done so much help with me. And what I tell you about healers, Kimberly, is that you got to find one that you gel with. It's not so much like mine work for me. So that's because I have an energetic connection with them. There's something about our energies that blend, and I can feel it. There's some of my best friends are healers, but I don't go to them. It's not that I don't like, I love them, but we just don't have that energetic. I know about 100 healers, and but I have two who have been with me from the beginning and have helped me through a stroke, a heart attack, other illnesses, rhabdomyolysis that I recently had and almost died from. So, you have to find out what person or what healer you bond with. And what I tell you is have a conversation with them. See if you really connect with them and that you really believe in them. Because the biggest part about healing when you get it done is that you believe that you're going to heal. A lot of it is your ownership in it. So you got to find somebody you're comfortable with. It's almost like that you're almost comfortable. Now you don't ever expose yourself. But what I mean by expose, I don't mean take your clothes off. I mean you're exposing all your emotions to somebody, and they're exposing They're exposing their higher power emotions to you. So you have to be comfortable with that person, and you have to also believe in the power of healing. And with that, and that's what creates the energetic healing. So you got to find somebody you're comfortable. I can give you a list of names of my two that I got plenty. I know plenty of good healers. I had tons of them work for me at the center, and I've had sessions from a lot of them. But those are my two go-to people because they were with me from the beginning to the end. I mean, I have no residuals from a stroke, which is almost impossible to hear. I have my heart's doing phenomenal, right, and it's doing great. They constantly working me. When I had the rhabdo a few weeks ago, one of them called and did long distance healing. The other one came to my house and took care of me till I got better. Tried to make me go to the ER, but I'm stubborn. Me wouldn't go, and because I'm like, I'm gonna be all right. But anyway, you know how nurses are, and so I'm like, I just need fluids. So, I tell you, I can give you a list of healers, but I would like the best way to get a healer is to probably go to an event where they have them and go feel them. Go feel who's good for you. Go feel who's good. Zeta's wonderful. Now Zeta is a very so there's a difference between Zeta and Tanya, my two healers. One is very spiritual and religious, and the other one is just highly spiritual. Not so religious. She's religious, but she's not as religious as the other. And I'm not going to tell you who's who, but you'll figure it out. But anyway, they are, together, they are powerful. And when I went down at Touching Eternity, Magni can tell you I had those two plus three others in the room that were there. Three others who I would go to normally. Like, they're good friends of mine and they're very good healers. They haven't been with me from the beginning to the end, but they're still good healers. And that the energy in that room was so intense. Magni could see the energy flying around me with his naked eyes when they were working on me and praying over me and stuff. So, hey. And look, I went out. They had me in a wheelchair. They wheeled me to the casino. This is a true story. And the first machine I hit on, I won $750 and left. I was like, time to go. Back to the room. So yeah, I tell people healing is amazing, and the spirit will speak to you. The spirit will speak to you. When I had my heart attack, I saw spirit in so many ways, and the validation of spirit throughout the whole process. And I'll give you some examples. This will be in the book, Touching Eternity, the story. So when the Touching Eternity was the weekend of Easter. And my cardiologist was coming back in town the day after, like the Monday after my cath was the Tuesday, scheduled for the Tuesday. Well, I went down during the conference, Easter weekend, and that's when they brought me back and worked on me and all that good stuff. So when I went to my cath, I'm at the hospital. There was like a line at the check-in desk, and my sister was with me and Magni was with me, and I went in and I went to the first booth, and the person next to me had my mother's birthday. The person next to that person had my grandmother's, because I could hear them all checking in. And then the next lady, her name was my mom's name, and then the last name had my last name. First name was my last name. And I looked over at my sister, and I'm like, are these witches, and I use the B word, coming to get me? Like, why is all these spirits here, right? Like, I thought it was my time to go, right? And my sister said, no, they're here to pray for you. And I said, oh, we'll see. I said, no, got a little nervous when all that happened, right? Because all these familiar signs popped up right next to me. It was like, that was crazy. So then I go into the cath lab, and then what made me feel better was one of the techs there, and he's a godsend. I knew him from 20 years ago at another hospital that I worked at, and he happened to be the cath tech, so I felt much more relieved that he was there. And so my doctor didn't think anything was wrong with me because all my tests, right, I had an ejection fraction of a 17-year-old. He's like, I don't think we're going to find anything. Well, his eyes got that big, and he looked at me and said, Mr. Patrick, are you ready to go to open heart surgery? And I said, Doc, just do what you think you got to do. And he was going to take me to open heart. Luckily for me, the angels were there, and he said, you know what? Something made him go, you know what? Emory, which is a cardiac institute, happened to be in that hospital that day. He goes, let me consult Emory. They're the pros. I'm gonna consult them and have them come look at your case, and then I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna take you to open heart surgery. Thank God, because Emory came down, and my cardiologist's partner came down. They were all there. They were all watching me lay on that table, and the Emory team told my doctor, you can't take him to open heart surgery. My doctor started panicking. He's like, why? I can't stent that. And because I had a 95% occlusion of the LAD, which is a widowmaker, plus my circumflex was down 100%. There was no blood flow. So he's like, I can't stent that you can't stent that. And the Emory told him, either you stent it, or he's gonna die on the operating table because the vein in his leg won't hold in that position. And so my doctor had to go in, and he was extremely nervous. I could tell because I'm awake. Like, I'm in limbo, but I'm awake. Like he can talk and I can hear. I can look at the screen. And so he said, so he went in and he stented it, and it worked. And so, yes, there were angels that day in there with me, because I would not have made it had they taken me to the OR, which was the plan. And then I had to go back, the year later, you had to go back for a recheck. And so I went back to the cath lab again, the second time for the recheck to see if the stent was holding and if it was proper. And when I got there, the tech came in, and we're talking and we're cutting up because, to me, it's life and death. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die. There's what you're going to do, right? So that's just my attitude. And I never always had that attitude. It's when I became spiritual and started learning about life after death that I understand life and death. So I'm not afraid of death as long as there's no pain. Let's knock me out. If there's going to be pain, just hit me with something, But so I'm sitting in, and me and the tech that's doing my blood pressure, we cutting up, and it was right around Mardi Gras, and I said, "Oh, you going to Mardi Gras?" She goes, "Oh, I don't celebrate Mardi Gras. I only celebrate my birthday." I go, "When's your birthday?" She goes, "July 4th, which was my mother's birthday." So I knew I was going to be okay. And when I went into that cath lab, I came out with a clean cath, and everything was working. So those are definite signs for me that my people are there. I mean, what are the odds that girl had my mother's birthday? The girl the day I checked in. What is the odds of that happening? You know what I'm saying? What are the odds? What are the odds of all that happening? So I tell people, your spirit team can be with you, but in order for you to communicate, you have to get that anger and that hate and that defeatness or that solemnness in your heart, and you got to start living life to be happy. And learning to love the little things and learning to love things. Oh, Kimberly, thank you, Kimberly. I tell people, find the little. That's why I keep telling. But that's why I push this agenda so much about energetics and about finding the little things in life that make you happy. Find your joy in this. And there's a guy in TikTok always says that, and I love that phrase. Find your joy. If your job is not making you happy, get out of it. Why are you going to torture yourself for some money? Save a little money, get an operation, go do something else. Go, get all sexy, go be a model. Go do you. This is your life. This is your journey. Don't be miserable. Don't be miserable. If you're miserable, then you're doing something wrong. Find your happiness. Stop being afraid of life. Because the only thing you're hurting is your chances to enjoy what little time you have here. Go find those little beautiful things that make you feel wonderful. If it's travel. If it's be with your grandkids, be with them more. If it's taking a class or just having good friends or just do you. Find what makes you happy and don't let anybody ever take that away from you. But then again, don't you try to control somebody and take it away from them. There's two sides to that coin. And so that's why I love teaching energetics. That's why I love teaching about the law of attraction through energetics, so that you can find the perfect people for you, the perfect person or the perfect group to be with, because you will shine. Because love will always win. Always. Look throughout history. No person ever made it for great lengths of time that was evil or mean. They all got found out. So I say that to you. Find your joy, find happiness. If you have a fear, have a plan. As long as you have a plan, you will be okay. You will be okay. Change is good. Change is scary. And sometimes you might have to go through a couple of years of rebuilding. But change sometimes is good because it just makes you stronger and better. And if you ever have a problem with that, you can call Stacy and book a 30-minute free appointment and talk to me about that. That's how I give back. Chris, yes, energetics will be online and in person, and it will be in probably around sometime in either September or October. I gotta see how my class schedule is going to pan out. I'm also, well, guys, Stacy, I don't know if I told you this if you're watching. I forgot to tell you. Guess what else Sid's doing? Sid just isn't doing all this. Sid's actually going back to school for his master's starting in a couple of weeks. So I got projects galore. Yes, I'm crazy. Yes, I am going to go back to school and get my master's. So besides all these projects and classes and teaching, I'm actually going back to school and get my master's. I'm doing something for me, you know. I was going to get my doctorate, but then I had to show up every weekend to school, and that ain't going to happen because I'm always traveling on the weekends. But yes, I'm going to get my master's in nursing. I'm going to get my master's in healthcare administration, since that's what I do. It's an MBA. It's a MBA, but I can teach. I can do a lot of things with it. I do, but that's what I enjoy, Kimberly. That's what keeps me alive. Is and look, I might die midway through all of this. Who knows? I'm okay with that. Tell people, if it happens, it happens. I'm doing me. And that's what that's the message I'm trying to get to people. Do you. Do you. Keep challenging yourself. Keep adding excitement into your life. Keep being a good person. Keep pushing that love out there. Learn to receive love too. And do that. You have the bachelor's in healthcare administration. I'm gonna get my MBA in that's what it's a master's in business. It's an MBA in healthcare admin. Yes, that's the one I'm going to get. And so, you want to join me and get your master's, Chris? It's going to take me about a year to do it, because I got a lot of classes under my belt. People don't realize how much college I've actually had. Absolutely. That's what I'm going to get, my MBA. It's called an MBA in healthcare administration. That's what I'm going to get. So because I do not see myself at the bedside. I'm more focused on how the hospital brings in income. And so that's what my job is right now, actually, is I'm there to help bring more income into the hospital to save money. So I always look at processes and creating cultural shifts and cultural changes, and that's kind of what I do already. So it's just getting a degree in what I already do, kind of. So shouldn't be too hard. God knows I have enough projects. I got about 10 projects going on right now at the same time. It's that crazy. I have like 5 of them with Stacy. And the other 5 are at the hospital. So, all right, folks. It is getting late. Nobody proposed. None of y'all proposed to me. No. None of y'all posed any new questions to me. So I'm going to say a few words, and then I'm going to probably tune out because I do have work tomorrow. Tomorrow is my last day at work before I head off to Orlando this weekend. So, just a recap of a few things. People have already been asking when we're doing another bus tour. I think we're going to do one in Lafayette first, and I'll bring another one back to the area when that happens. The bus tour this time, though, will be on a different type of bus, one that will have air conditioning throughout the whole thing, I promise. Or I won't pay them and I won't get on it because that was miserable. So I got a lot of things happening, and most of them can be found on my website. My classes will all be posted before the end of Touching Eternity. Magni and I are going to work on that. So look for those classes. Some of Touching Eternity might also be available on video. It will not be the whole conference because there's certain things we cannot videotape, but there's some things we can. So there will be some classes that will be videotaped. My class will be videotaped. I don't know if any of the other instructors are going to let me videotape their classes, but we're going to put them up for sale post the conference. If you want to be a part of any of it, you can do it that way. Some people have asked me for that. But some, some of the some people, with the conference, what they do can't be videotaped, because you're just going to see dark and hear music and words, and then you won't be able to interact and do the interaction piece. And so when there's interaction, and if you get a videotape after the fact, you can't interact, so you lose the quality of what the experience is. So Denise, what did you get laid off from? What kind of work were you doing? I'm going to see if I see you doing the same thing or something similar. I'm not even pulling cards. I'm going to go into my head for this one. When you asked me that question, okay, so when you asked me that question, I saw you like raising your hands up like you were giving up. So let's look at it this way. A lot of teachers I know are changing what they're doing. Okay, if you didn't get laid off, you were going to probably get fired. So laid off is better than fired. I have like 6 teachers have wrote me in the last, say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, about their jobs coming to an end because of finances, because there's a lot of change going on in the teaching world. What I see you doing is you need to create something that's more for you. You can still teach or tutor or get involved in that fashion. That's what I would recommend for now, until you can find something that you want to do. I kind of feel, when I feel your energy, that you really want to do something different, that you're getting tired of being under the bullet with teaching. So I think you need to look for something new, something better or more refining for yourself. Maybe even going back to school for a little bit, like I'm about to. Look, I'm 64 and I'm going back to school, and it's just to get the degree, So I say find something that you enjoy doing. I know you enjoy teaching, but a lot of and again, you can still teach. Maybe find something maybe on a different level or a different place, because I just don't see you going back to kind of where you were. I need to say that to you because I saw this when you came. Well, wow, then you can teach anywhere then. So, maybe find something else to teach. I got a friend of mine in her 80s that still teaches at Suno. So you can, but because of your age, they may not. I say tutor. That's what, because you got to teach or create something like a workshop. I'll give you an example. I spent an hour yesterday brushing up on Excel because I got to do some Excel spreadsheets coming up. So I spent an hour doing that. Would I've taken a virtual class? Absolutely. So find some things that you really like teaching and moving in, and I say create that for you. Okay? Like I said, I have a teacher, she's in her 80s and she's at Suno still. She's a phenomenal math teacher, and she still teaches in her 80s. And she still tutors people, and she's an absolute joy. So don't give up. Let's see, Jen Long. I am not going to keep you because it's late. It's not too late, Jen. I will do that for you. Then I say, Denise, keep with teaching, but find something that you create, that you do. I think we had this conversation when y'all were at my house last time. But so let me see, Jen. I'm gonna try to go into my head and read cards for you. So, Jen, do you have any other? Jen, do you have any other siblings? Because what I see right now is you need help. Your dad needs help, and I don't think there's enough people to help him with his health. So I am going to say that. Okay, so I don't know if you need siblings, but it looks like he needs help. 3 cards I pulled. I'm going to tell you why I went, because that's what you're wondering. the Tower of Destruction came up in there. But that's not a bad card, but that's why I asked you if you had siblings. But this was your outcome, and the outcome looks pretty good. It looks like there comes balance. But it's all about, you got to find balance for him and with his health. So when I say that to you, what that means to me, I don't know what's going on with your dad. If we had a conversation, I could help you a little more with it. But what that means to me is that there is things that need to be his schedule needs to be balanced, but people need to understand what his needs are, and try to understand where he's coming from, and then work with him with that. I do think that he is going to have an issue or some stuff coming up, but it just depends on how the family reacts to it as to what's going to happen. So I would say be positive. I would say definitely look at what he thinks he needs and work with him on it. Because if he don't buy into his own health, if he can't, like, I don't know if he's got something neuro going on, but if he can't understand his own health, then he's going to have some issues. But when I feel this man, I kind of feel he's a little stubborn. I keep getting something in my guts. I don't know if that's where he has the health issue. It's right here. I feel like right in my diaphragm area for some reason. So it's either going to be lungs or gut, but I feel it right in my diaphragm. But anyway, just advise you, that is one of the most curable cancers there is. So what I'm going to tell you then, if that's what he had for today, so that's one of the most curable cancers there. But the things he needs to take out of his diet, and Stacy, if she's still on, can tell you, I'm telling you the truth. Take sugar out of his diet. Try to get chemicals out of his diet. So he wants organic, fresh food. That's what he should be putting in his body. Things high in protein, but not with artificial stuff in it, not with crap in it. Healthy stuff. So change his diet. There is a tea you can get. My healer in Belize has it, but you can look her up if you want to get it from her. But it's also can be found in Arizona. There's a tea you can get that helps withdraw the sugar from your body, and that's what creates the cancer to grow. So those things would help. I do think he will have a surgery by the cards and by what you just told me he's going for. So I guess that could be the biopsy, though, because the biopsy is kind of a procedure. So hopefully that's the only one. But if he can do that, he'll be okay. I think he's going to succeed. It looks like he is going to go through some change, some big change. And if he don't make those changes, it's not going to be as easy for him. But he has going to have to definitely make some changes with his diet, with his health, with things, with this diagnosis. So I'm going to say that to you. Okay? Look, that's the most curable. That some people have passed from it, but it is the most curable cancer out there. It's one of the ones I see people live with and succeed and move forward and go strong. So, how old is he, Jen? How old is he? You can type that for me while I get a sip. Yes, I was chewing ice. Okay, well, I'm kind of feeling that he is probably my age or older. Oh, yeah, so he's my age, around my age. That's what I'm thinking. He's right around my age. That's what I'm thinking. He's like 2 years older than me, about, you think. So, that is a very curable cancer. So I would say he's probably cut the sugar out of his diet, watch his chemicals, try to do everything he can to decrease his stress levels. That's another big piece of cancer. And if he can do that, he'll do all right. Oh, that's all right. I didn't know how old my dad was either for a long time. And I knew the year he was born. I just didn't feel like doing the math. Why do math if you don't have to? No, I'm just kidding. I know. All right, Jen. All right, folks. I got to get up and go to work in the morning. It is my Friday, and I got a busy day because I got a lot of loose ends and projects to tie up before I can head off to my next destination in Orlando, Florida. Like I said, I will film some of the classes for you guys, and I'd even show some of them here on the podcast. So good night to all. I love you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining Touching Eternity, the podcast. I'm your host, Sid Patrick.